Dear fathers and brothers, good afternoon. The speech we are going to listen to this afternoon is by Melanie Priya Kumar. She is a great writer from Karnataka. She wrote this speech in the context of Mother Teresa being accused of conversion. So, let us listen to her speech from the great orator, Scholastic Anthony Bruno from Chennai province. Let us welcome him on the stage with a big round of applause.
In recent weeks, the chief of the Rastriya Swayam Sevak RSS brought up the motives of the late Mother Teresa. When doing so, he joined other Hindutva supporters who had expressed their suspicions about her activities and saw in them. For me, who had the largest part of my school education in convents run by nuns, this sounds rather curious. When I look back and reminisce, I can hardly recall any attempts at conversion. While our Catholic classmates went for catechism of the first school hour, the rest of us had to do a subject called moral science, for which one who had write an exam every term. There was a moral science prize also at the end of every year, which I used to win quite regularly, eliciting some veiled comments from my mother. Many of these lessons came with moral at the end, but I cannot recall a single reference to Christ or any preaching of Christianity. During early morning assembly, when each class gathered in front of the Sister Superior, the prayer was a neutral one. The closest that one might have come to learning a Christian prayer was the Lord's Prayer. But since it speaks of a Father who dwells in heaven, no Hindutva supporter can really cast aspersion on the reciting of what I find to be quite a universal prayer. Many of my friends from school and some relatives say that they find it the most convenient prayer to recite on account of its neutrality. Of course, school assembly chorus have singing some references to Christ, as in hymns like Abide with Me. But perhaps those were politically incorrect time, when one might have, without thinking too much about the God who was being referred to. To date, I find the philosophy of this hymn absolutely enduring and heart-touching. The greatest advantage of a non-Christian to attend a school run by Christian is that it teaches respect of religion by one's own. Besides moral science, the one of the lessons was regularly visited was an awareness of a world and outside one's privileged one. We were being asked to bring clothes for the poor or to make paper packets in which medicines usually put in the cover of the bag in the poor. As part of social service and Girl Guide activities, the one had a choice to visit the habitat of these deprived section of society and learn how they live. In addition of the Moral Science Prize, there was a coveted award called a Prize for Social Service that was gifted across classes to one deserving girl. Among us, the many winners of academic awards, whom I have all, but I have forgotten. I am surprised that I recall the name of the winner of the Social Service Prize. In a country of great economic disparity and the ever-widening gaps between haves and have-nots, I am most grateful to these nuns for creating this awareness and a sense of duty and responsibility towards the less privileged. Among my favorite biblical quotation is the one which says that in as much as you have done it unto one of the least of my these brethren, you have done it unto me. Perhaps indirectly our nuns in school were teaching us the spirit of a service towards the less privileged was a way of enhancing one's spirituality irrespective of religion of the one belonged to. This biblical quote also makes clear that Mother Teresa and her sisters of charity were only living their religion and on the truest sense of them. The poor, the firm, the diseased, whom Mother Teresa and her flock brought into their shelter were only dumped by society. These outcasts often on a deathbed could really not have cared if they were administered by the holy rites of one's own. In Mother Teresa and her dedicated nuns, they would have seen already God on earth. After being shunned and condemned, it lives of indignity. It appears that in our Christian institution today, parents of a child have to sign an undertaking that they have no objection to their child being exposed Christian moral instructions. My schooling during happens more innocent days, but our parents never feared any threats of conversion from the nuns. Thinking back, I realized that I might have forgotten some of my history and geography, but what has endured are those moral science lessons.